What is happening here?
Yeah, I was sitting there, somebody claimed you should move right, left, so I cannot sit very close to him, it's not comfortable. Because he's occupying, if I avoid this camera, I have to touch his body. I really not comfortable, so I asked him, please go. I don't know why.
You shift this side.
Yeah.
Who is sitting behind Vidyaji? Oh yeah, she is sick today. And who is sitting there? Tripura, she will come. Okay. This is not, this is looking very strange.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to sit, but somebody asked me, you are disturbing me before the class.
No, see, actually I can say all five of you are doing. Yeah. Just see what you can and
You see, the easiest thing to do is straddle them. When was the cleaning? Yesterday? Yesterday was the cleaning. Or today? Today is the cleaning. When is the cleaning? Yeah, that's why this gadbad has happened. Each time the cleaning happens, something happens. Now I understand. So you straddle it. So one row like this and the other row in the middle. So everybody can see without going like this. Okay? Yeah. So now please fix this because this is looking very, very funny. Everybody go back to their places.
You were originally there, no? Why you change? It's a problem for me.
Yeah, you can come there. Yeah, sit there. Yeah, this. Welcome, Tripura. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma-pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya-paramparam Om Parthagya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sanghapada Kramopanishadaihi Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Narayanah Paro Vyaktat Andam Avyakta Sambhavam Andasyantastvi Lokaha Saptadvipa Chamedini Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have seen how the Jnani Jnani's practice and Karma Yogi's practice. We have seen that. Although it is challenging to call it practice, sadhana. Even the word sadhana, we have to be careful, because if we say manana, nididhyasana, etc. are sadhana, for what? Let's say moksha, then moksha becomes far away. Sadhya vastu, not siddha vastu. This has to be very clearly understood. So here we have the what is that, practice of nididhyasana we saw in 8 and 9. Nididhyasana means what? Brahmabhyasa. Brahmabhyasa, it doesn't mean the practice of Brahman or the repetition of Brahman. Brahmabhyasa means living as Brahman. Therefore, it's in the form of a instruction. Karma yogena yuktaha munihi manyeta tattvavit api manyeta. May one think like this. It is an instruction because it is nididhyasana, brahmabhyasa. So, brahmabhyasa is also of two kinds. One is samadhi rupa brahmabhyasa, means sitting in one place and going over the words of the Shruti. Asangaha aham, purnaha aham. That is what we sometimes do in the meditation session. This is nididhyasana, sitting in one place, samadhi rupena, where we get absorbed into the words of the Shastra. But that is not the kind of nididhyasana recommended here, because that nididhyasana is done when? For a certain length of time. I sit down at this time, I get up at this time. Whereas this kind of brahmabhyasa, which is brahmabhyasa at large, meaning all the time. Pashyan, when are you seeing? All the time. When are you hearing? All the time. So all the time you identify, you let go of the identification consciously with the ahankara, and you identify with what? Atma, Satchidananda Atma aham. Therefore, naiva kinchit karomi iti. I am Atma, I am not the doer. Mind you, this does not apply to the one who says, I pick pockets for a living. That person is not ready for nididhyasana. Who is ready for nididhyasana? The one who has mastered dharma, who is yuktaha, together as a person, and the one who has the understanding of the Shastra. That person is ready for nididhyasana, because even to contemplate, you should know what to contemplate upon. You can't keep contemplating upon something or the other. That doesn't work. You should know what to contemplate upon. And whenever we discuss nididhyasana, there is a problem. It is a catch something. What is it that you catch? Catch 22. Catch 22. And then, how is it a catch 22? Until and unless one is contemplative, one cannot contemplate. What? Exactly. Until one is contemplative, until one is already contemplative, one cannot contemplate. So, okay, how to become contemplative? Until one contemplates, one cannot be contemplative. Here we are. So, therefore, how do we do this? In baby steps. So, the Karma Yogi here is introduced to what the Tattvavit does. The Tattvavit is still doing this. You can also perhaps do it, because this is the culmination of Karma Yoga in the form of Vidvat Sannyasa. And the Vidvat Sannyasi, the Tattvavit, what is she or he seeing? She is seeing the fact that I am Akarta, I am Atma, Akarta. This Atma does not do anything. They are already seeing. And seeing this, they are understanding that they are not the doer because they have already gone through verse number 18 in the 4th chapter. But then, so we saw the Bhashya also, and the beautiful example. Example is very, very nice. Like, who is the person? Trapped in the desert. Trapped in the desert, thinking that the desert itself will have water which will give relief from the scorching heat. And similarly, here is the person trapped in samsara, trapped in the body, mind, sense complex, thinking that within the samsara itself will come some relief. You see, this is the problem. So, where is the udaka? There is no udaka. But udaka means what? Water. There is no water, but it looks like water. And in samsara, there is no moksha. Is there moksha within samsara? No. But it looks like moksha. Why? Because it says Starbucks, mocha, espresso. It looks like moksha. It looks like moksha. It looks like if I just go here, if I run away from all this, here is a place for me to relax. Any relaxation in samsara is very, very costly. Like those sleeping pods in airports. In international airport, there will be some place because the person is like, all weary of travel, just really upset. And God knows what time it is, where it is, nobody knows. Long travel. And then suddenly it's a sleeping pod, no windows, nothing. It's like a sleeping prison actually, okay? And it is 2 inches less tall than you are, less long, okay? So somehow you have to kind of cramp there, slightly better than an economy aircraft seat. So then you go and it promises relief. They will have the wall near this area where the pods are being sold. They look like some kind of a capsules, life-size capsules, and then they will have pictures of birds, butterflies, nice rainbows and everything. And then you are tempted to go there and ask, how much? $100 for 15 minutes. Okay? And there, without needing a pod, you pass out, just hearing that. So, in samsara, everything is costly. It promises relief, but by the time you go there, you are so wound up, you are wondering, did I do the right thing? I have paid so much. Should I have not? All sleep is gone. And then the bell rings, you have to come out. And then you are even more angry with yourself than you were before you went in. Samsara is like that. Please have some relief. Here. Come. And the relief in this life also is promised, and afterlife relief is also promised. Do some good karma. Then what will happen? Then rose water will be sprinkled on the person who is making the transition. Ehi, all the good karmas embodied, call out. Iti ahutayaha suvarchasaha. They are all luminous and bright, the good karmas. And they join the rays of the sun. And in the form of the rays of the sun, they carry the person who has done good karma. Suryasya rashmibhihi yajamanam vahanti. Priyam vacham vadanti. Archayanti, they worship this person. Oh, you have done so many good deeds. You opened an orphanage and a chhatralaya and a free clinic for all the needy people. Come. And then there also what? Temporary moksha. Temporary moksha. And similarly, that is why when Adi Shankara gives an example, you can just keep on talking about it. Temporary moksha there also. And then what do you do? After enjoying tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punnye martyalokam vishanti. Gatagatam kamakamaha labhante. So the desiring person who is always after something or the other gets something that is always temporary. So here this udakasthaniya, that which is symbolized by the udaka, that is the water, is what? Relief. And then the scorching desert is samsara, another connected interpretation. The scorching desert in the example is samsara. The water is a relief. Can you find relief in samsara? No, you will be pounding and eating sand. That's what will happen. And so, as soon as the person, the mumukshu, the jignasu, the viveki, and the one who has vairagya looks closely at the sand and says what? No water to be found. This is just plain sand. I have been tricked. The question of trickery is there whenever you use the word mrigatrishna. There is a trick. And so I have been fooled. I have been tricked. And so having understood that you have been tricked, do you fall for the same trick again? No. And so, like this, the person knows that the relief is not in the desert. In the desert, there will still be scorching sand. Similarly, in the samsara also, the scorching heat of the prarabdha karma and all the karmas unfolding, which is unbearable. That understanding having gained, the person does not look for a permanent solution in the samsara ever again, because nitya vastu viveka has taken place, and for the anitya vastu vairagya has taken place. And so evam pana prayojanaya na pravartate, does not engage to try to squeeze some sand and bring out some water. And so this is, why is this said? This is said because the uselessness of somebody who has become adept in Brahmabhyasa due to the has completely, due to the Atmajnanam, and also has completely done the gained the understanding of akartritvam. So for the person who has akartritva buddhi, then for them akarta aham iti buddhi, the one who understands the fact that I am akarta, can you make that person again karta? Never. Punaha moham na yasyasi pandava, we saw that. And so, evam jnatva, knowing this, you will not go back to that delusion. So, similarly, this example is given for the jnani. Just like the mrigatrishnika jnani, what does she or he do? They stop having udaka buddhi. Udaka buddhi is not the buddhi of the water. No. Udaka buddhi means water is available, iti notion. The notion that water is available, that kind of a notion, that they stop having, they stop looking for water where it is not there. They stop looking for moksha in samsara. They stop seeing the Atma as karta. But yahatu punaha atatvavit pravrittaha cha karmayoge eva. But with reference to the person who is this punaha, furthermore, with reference to the person who is what? Atatvavit, the one who does not know the truth of the self. For them, what lifestyle is recommended? Karma yoga. They can attempt the nididhyasana, no problem. Why? Because we are talking of Vidvat Sannyasa. Anybody can do Nididhyasana, but if they are unable to see the Atma as Akarta, little more Karma Yoga is warranted. Little more Karma Yoga is required. Iti Arthaha. Then next one. Brahmanyadhaya karmani Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha Lipyate na sapapena Padmapatramivambhasa. So for the Jnani there was a Drishtanta, and Bhagavan Krishna is very fair. So for the Karma Yogi also, one more Udaharanam, one more example is given. So let us see this, Yaha. See, the other ones are kind of straightforward Anvaya, that's why I didn't give, not much change. And then, so here we can see this. Yaha Brahmani adhaya sangam tyaktva karmani karvoti saha papena padmapatramivambhasa na lipyate. Okay, that is the Anvaya. And sometimes there can be more than one way of making it prosaic. This is just one way where it makes sense. Okay, so Brahmani, seventh case, in Brahman. What is this Brahman? Ishvara. In Ishvara. Go back to Karma Yoga. What is the hallmark of Karma Yoga? Adhaya, keeping, giving, offering. Offering what? Actions, karma. Read there, you will see very easily. So actions, karma, giving the karma, or rather giving the authorship of the karma, the action to who? Ishvara. So, a way, see, the Jnani is not touched by action. Why? Because the Jnani knows eating, drinking, sleeping, waking, what am I? Akarta. I am Brahmaniti. But here, the person doesn't know that, is in the way of knowing that, is on the way to know that. And so for that person, what is recommended? That go back to ABC of Karma Yoga. First is what? Ishvararpana Buddhi. And then Prasada Buddhi. These two are the bookends of Karma Yoga. In between, all the other attitudes, values, all that is there. Emotional growth, all these things are there. So first, with regard to my actions, there is Arpana Buddhi towards Ishvara. With regards to the results of my action, how do I see them? As the Prasada from who? Ishvara. So Ishvara centric my Karma Yoga is, and so if you don't know yourself as Atma, no problem, go back to Karma Yoga. And if you are doing the Nididhyasana imperfectly, or not doing it at all, or can't do it at all, because you can't order a person. Come on, be contemplative, do Nididhyasana right now. It won't come. You can't do that. You can't order a person, and neither can the person make a timetable of the day for themselves. 5 to 6 p.m. I will do Nididhyasana. It's not like that. It's not an act. It's an attitude. So if it is an act, there is a starting time and an ending time. If it's an attitude, it has to be cultivated. It has to come in the wake of the knowledge. And so Brahmani adhaya sarvani karmani. How does the person perform it? Sangam tyaktva. Karma sangam tyaktva. Karma phala sangam api tyaktva. So this I am performing, this is Ishvara performing, and then doesn't go and look again and again. This is what is that called? Not haunted by the ghost of perfectionism. Everything has to be just right, it's like this, everything. The book is like this, the food will not digest, it has to be like that. And then instead of eyes, they have measuring tapes. They are always looking for equidistance between things. Okay, so this is not Ishwararpana Buddhi. Ishwararpana Buddhi means I do my best. It's not that I don't do my best. I do my best and then leave it be. Let it be. Don't go back and then say, oh, I forgot to put the cherry on top. Oh, I forgot to do this, forgot to do that. Don't fuss with it. Once you have given it to Ishvara, you can't take it back and do something with it. It's already given. And so, this is Sangam Tyaktva. Not only is my doership dedicated to Ishvara, I am no longer attached to my status as doer. Because the attachment or the identification with the status of doer makes me a perfectionist. I have to keep redoing and redoing, makes me a karta, makes me a big karta. And then the karta becomes what? Bhokta in the face of the karma phala. And so with regard to karma, Sangam Tyaktva. And then the same Sangam Tyaktva, with regard to that Sangha becomes a Sangha with regard to karma, phala also. If something comes that's enjoyable, let's enjoy it, no problem. Something doesn't come, let it not be so. So be it. That is how the person practices, and the person becomes very strong at heart. He is not, as the next chapter will show, staying in this karma yoga, yasmin stitaha guruna api dukkhena na vichalyate. So, even by the greatest of challenges and difficulties and dukkhas, one is not shaken. Here, without karma yoga, one is constantly shaken. Dodhuyamanam duradrishta vataihi, to quote the Viveka Chudamani, repeatedly shaken up, always shaken. Doesn't require much to shake up that person. I knew one person in the ashram in Anekatti. They are not there now, but when they were there, the slightest thing would startle them. Somebody coming from the back in the lunch line, you do expect people in the back, that's why it's called line. Okay, yeah, there will be some people in front, there will be some people in the back. And then, she would jump 6 inches into the air. Oh my God, you startled me. And then, okay, fine, you got startled, then, self-soothe, okay, done. And then hyperventilation would continue. She would have to get out of the line, give her plate to somebody else. Somebody else had to get all the things for her. And then still she would be, going very, very breathless, very upset. Physically, nothing was wrong. Already checked out by doctors, no heart condition, nothing at all. But there is this feeling shaken up at the smallest thing. One lizard you see, and then the rest of the day is gone in, just you have to take rest after seeing the lizard. I think the lizard should take rest, because after seeing you once, it has lost, it has taken leave of its courage, poor thing. Because what it sees, think of from its standpoint. From its standpoint, it sees somebody wildly gesticulating, jumping up and down and screaming. Poor thing. Okay? But lizard didn't take rest. Lizard was unfazed. Why? Lizard had been karma yogi in its last life. Whereas such people are very much freaked out about the smallest things. So karma yoga is a gift that stops this freak out for no reason at all. And so the drama quotient drops and the Rama quotient comes up. So we all like drama, but the D should be silent. We all love Rama. That is what the idea is. And so lipyate means is not affected. Na lipyate by what? Papena, by the results of actions. Why is the karma yogi not connected to or affected by the results of action? Simply because I am no longer actor. Who is the actor? Ishvara is the actor. So anything that comes is prasada from Ishvara. This is there all over India. Prasada buddhi. Everything is prasada. Whatever comes, not just what is given in the temple, whatever comes is prasada. And in fact, people are called prasada. Yes, very common name. Rama Prasad, Krishna Prasad, Durga Prasad. And then there is a embattled politician. Lalu Prasad. Lalu means baby Krishna. Okay. Embattled means 6 months in, 6 months out. In and out of what? Exactly. Into a lot of scams and everything. I think his mom must have been a jnani. Took one look at the baby and said, Krishna's problem, not my problem. Lalu Prasad. Very nice. It's a wonderful thing because children are prasada. They come, they come, they go, they are prasada. And so, therefore, with this attitude, na lipyate. Na lipyate means is not touched, is not afflicted by the karma phala. Karma phala cannot be the arrow, that series of arrows that gets you down. Why? Because you are no longer the karta. You were never the karta. Ishvara was the karta. And so the karma phala is being given by who? Ishvara. Sometimes sweet, sometimes sour, sometimes bitter, sometimes downright nasty. But still it is prasada and has to be taken. The prasada is a metaphor for this kind of a healthy living in the form of karma yoga. Papena nalipyate. So the bad karmas of me do not touch me. How? Like even the water, the ambhasa, udakena. So even by the water, padma patram. Patram can mean leaf. Patram can also mean petal. So the lotus petal and the lotus leaf are not touched by the water, and similarly the karma yogi is like the lotus, not touched by the papa. Bhashya. Brahmani Ishvare Adhaya. To keep, nikshipya. Give up to Ishvara. And how to give up also, Adi Shankara gives in so many words. Tadartham karma karomi iti bhrityah iva swamyartham. Very beautiful thing. So just like an employee, a help, hired help. You have somebody to help you because you can't do all the things yourself. So this person is doing the jobs that are told. They are doing the jobs that are told. They are told to sweep, they sweep. And then they are told to polish something, they polish something. They are told to wash the vessels, they wash the vessels. And they are told to dust, they dust. And while they are doing these activities, what is the thinking? Of course, in a functional person, what is the thinking? I am just an employee. Dasaha aham. Dasaha means a servant. I am a domestic help. I am a employee. Dasaha. I am inferior to the Swami. Why? Swami has lot of money. I have no money. Swami doesn't need to go to work. Who needs to go to work to feed the children? I need to go to work to put food on the table. Swami is relaxing. And I am the one pressing the feet or doing something to, or fanning the Swami or making the Swami. Swami here means not, somebody whose name ends in Ananda. Swami means master. Yeah. Swami means master. So I am Dasaha, and this is the master. I am in her or his employ, and so long as they are happy with me, I will get my paycheck. If they are not happy with me, I can be dismissed. But if I am dismissed, how will I take care of my family? Therefore, I had better be vigilant of how I behave. I better be watchful. I better be respectful. I better be reverential. This is how the Bhrityaha, the servant, thinks when doing his or her job. Similarly, the Karma Yogi also should think like that. The Tattvavid should think what? Naiva kinchit karomi iti. Do you see the contrast? And here, what does the Karma Yogi say? The Karma Yogi says, I am doing this for the sake of Ishvara. Just like the servant does the job for the sake of who? The master. There is a certain arpanam that is taking place and offering. So here also, Bhrityaha iva swamyartham. What? Sarvani karmani. Sarvani karmani. Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. Sarva karmani. Sarvani karmani. All the karmas. Not just some karmas. Some karmas are dedicated to Ishvara. Other karmas are for me. No. All the karmas are dedicated to Ishvara. Including the karma of robbing the bank? No. Well, that's where we have to bring in dharma and say only the karmas that are of the best intentions, which are not doing himsa to anybody, those are the ones that are worthy of dedicating to Ishvara. And so, then what happens as a result? All the karmas are dedicated to Ishvara. Sangam tyaktva. Sangam means karma phala saktihi is called sangam here. Sangaha masculine, ghanj pratyaya, but sakti is ktin. Same, same root. Saj to connect, saj to get attached. So sangam tyaktva, giving up all the penchant and the identification with the karma phala. The karma phala is dedicated to who? Bhagavan. Karma phala comes from Bhagavan. I am not manufacturing the karma phala. Meaning, what is dedicated is all my expectations along with the actions, along with the intentions of the action, and along with the whatever the action is going to yield is dedicated to Ishvara. And Adi Shankara adds a clause, moksho me bhuyad iti ichha api. Even the desire that I will get moksha as a result of this is dedicated to what? Bhagavan. So I don't have attachment even to moksha when I am doing this. Just like the Bhritya, the servant who is doing the work does not think one day I will be very rich. The masters will be very pleased with me and give me half of their savings, and then I will buy an island and then be happy for the rest of my life. The Bhritya doesn't have the time to think like that. And similarly here the Karma Yogi also does not think, okay, Ishvara will be very pleased with me and Ishvara is gonna give me goodies. Let me customize a list of goodies that I want and put it in front of Ishvara, says one Karma Yogi, and the other Karma Yogi says, no, I'll just put one thing on the list in block letters. What is that? Moksha. Both, please don't do. Adi Shankara tells us this is not how to be this is not how to be a Karma Yogi. So then Sangam Tyaktva, Mokshe api, Sangam Tyaktva. This moksha should be the phala of this action. That also is given up. The attachment is given up, and then na papena lipyate na sambadhyate. Very nice. Sambadhyate means is not connected, is not related to either the action or the result of action. Making this is very important sadhana to be like the ones in 8 and 9. In 8 and 9, Pashyan Shrinman naiva kinchit karomi iti yuktaha manyeta. So this practice gives the person a sense of confidence and the person becomes yuktaha. endowed with this maturity, then akartritva buddhi is not very far. Aham akarta iti buddhi is not very far. Na sambadhyate is unconnected to the papa or the results of action, just like the water lily or the lotus is unconnected to the water. So further, kevalam sattva-shuddhi matra phalam eva tasya karmanah syat. So then, such a person, whether they want it or not, what happens? Antahkarana shuddhi takes place. Antahkarana shuddhi takes place with this kind of an attitude of karma yoga. Next verse is also about karma yoga again, and 12th one also I think is of karma yoga. And then from verse number 13 we talk about the jnani again. Okay, so now, so kevalam sattva shuddhi matra phalam. So the phalam should be what? Sattva shuddhi matram. Even that the person is not thinking. I want antahkarana shuddhi, that's why I am doing it. So let me serve lunch. Okay, so I'll smile. I'll stand there behind the counter, I will serve. And inside I'm thinking, I'm growing. I'm growing. Due to Gurukula Seva, I'm growing. And then I keep on pouring the dal. Whether there is a plate underneath or not, I keep on pouring. Okay, so this is even the sattva shuddhi. Like antahkarana shuddhi is taking place. See, I never liked this person. I'm still smiling and pouring and smiling and pouring. And then even that thought is not there for such a person. Antahkarana shuddhi must, should and will take place. Is what Adi Shankara says in terms of connecting the next verse. Why? Because kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindriyairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva shuddhaye. Yeah, so whatever the yoginah, what kind of yoginah? Karma yoginah. So yoginah, karma yoginah, plural, karma kurvanti. They perform actions. Why? This is again a very important verse. You can mark that. So, kayen, so yoginah karma kurvanti. This is the basic sentence. Yoginah kurvanti. What? Kim kurvanti? Karma kurvanti. Yoginah karma kurvanti. Yogis perform action. How do they perform action? Sangam tyaktva kurvanti. So, and then how do they perform the action? Sangam tyaktva kurvanti. What are the instruments through which they perform action? Kayena, the instrumental case for the instruments. Kayena, which case? Third case. 3-1, yes. Now everybody is getting very sophisticated. Manasa, 4-1? No, also 3-1. Okay. Buddhya, 3-1. Yeah. Kevalaihi, 3-1? 3-3. Okay. Indriyaihi, 3-3. Because why? There is more than one indriya and the kevala is qualifying indriya. So then, what are the instruments of action? Body, kaya. Kaya is instrument of action. And then, because you can do many things with the body, with the hands, with the legs, these are all parts of the body. Body is the instrument of action. And then kayena manasa. The mind is also an instrument of action, because until the mind says, give this fellow one nice cuff, then how will the body react? The body reacts in response to the mind. Okay, chant Sahasranama. And then that is what? Vachasa. That's not mentioned, but we have to bring that in through the words, verbal action, mental actions, physical action. And so all this, and the mind is put here because the mind gives permission to these actions, mind slash buddhi, because until the mind permits, the body will not act. The indriyas, the sense organs, will also what? Not act. So the actions connected to the sense organs, the actions connected to the body, it has got an intermediary. Who is that? The mind buddhi. The buddhi has to permit. The buddhi has to tell the hand, do this. And buddhi has to tell the leg, put yourself in front of the other leg. And the other leg is on strike. No, will not go for a walk. No, you are going for the walk. You had 2 jalebis during Bhandara. You better go for a walk. You have no excuse not to go for a walk. Left leg out. And then the left leg slowly comes out. Right leg in front of the left leg. And then again left leg. The mind has to tell. So the mind is also involved in action, is an instrument of action. And then buddhya. So manasa, buddhya, both are given side by side. Even though the manasa should have included buddhya, but since buddhya is given separately, even though they are used synonymously in the Shastra, we have to look at what is the meaning of the word buddhya. The attitude with which I perform the action is the buddhi here. So the attitudinally also sangam tyaktva, that is the attitude. So manasa, like the mind is under the tutelage of the buddhi. Because like I said, take the example of going for walk. So the mind says to the leg, get up. What does the leg say? No. Can the leg say no? No? Really? No. Mind itself says no. We do a transference and say the leg is saying no. Leg is not saying no. Poor leg. It doesn't know anything. It is jada. But then the mind, blessed by consciousness, what does it has become? Chetana. Chetanatam agat. Because it has become Chetana, then it has become sentient. So then there are 2 parts. One part of the mind as though travels to the leg, because the mind can go anywhere. Sitting here, it can go to South Africa and come back, no problem. Within minutes. So one part of the mind travels to the leg and then sympathizes with the leg. Poor thing, it has worked so hard, it can't walk, it needs rest. The other part of the mind chides this part of the mind which is identified with the leg and says, no, you need to walk, it is good, you have to walk. So this way the mind is called a faculty that is a vacillating faculty. Yes? No. Yes? Maybe. No. So is maybe a no or a yes? Sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's a no. So, like this, the mind is called sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha, whereas the buddhi is what? Nishchayatmika. At some point you have to say, okay, fine, don't go for a walk, do something else instead. And then you have made a decision one way or the other. Or shut up and go for a walk. That's also okay. You have made a decision. The decisive faculty is the buddhi. That is where all the actions ensue from. Some actions may leak from the mind also. So the mind is also given. Buddhi is also given here. Kayena manasa buddhya. And then kevalaihi indriyaihi api, and even by the mere sense organs of action, because the indriya is not qualified, it's not qualified by karmendriya or jnanendriya. So by the indriyas, but we take it as jnanendriyas because the kaya is mentioned separately, the physical body is mentioned separately. That will include the karmendriyas. And then here, indriyaihi api kevalaihi means, what are we doing? We are taking jnanendriyas. So karma yoginaha karma kurvanti, sangam tyaktva karma kurvanti. And what is the purpose of action? What is the purpose of action? Not tyaktva shuddhaye, tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Shuddhaye, fourth case. The purpose of action is always in fourth case. So fourth case, this is a very nice one because we have the instrument of action. We have the purpose of action. And then the basic skeletal sentence is yoginaha karma kurvanti. And to that we embellish. How do they perform action? Sangam tyaktva kurvanti. And then what purpose for they perform the action? Atma shuddhaye kurvanti. And then with what instruments these actions are performed? All of them are in the third case. So therefore, here is a person, a very wonderful, dedicated, devoted karma yogi who does not want even moksha. It's actually healthy to not want moksha. Why? Already one Swarupa. Therefore, what to want? Atma Shuddhi, Antahkarana Shuddhi. That is what. Don't say I am doing this for moksha. It's okay if you say it, if you understand properly. Then moksha becomes sadhya vastu. Whereas it is what? Siddha vastu. It is siddha vastu vishaya. It is a matter for understanding, not a matter for reaching, because moksha is never away from you. What is away from you is antahkarana shuddhi is away from you. So the practice here is not to gain moksha, but to gain antahkarana shuddhi. Sangam tyaktva karoti. So therefore this is a beautiful one because they are yogis and then they are highly revered in society because they have become more and more non-reactive. They have become more and more tranquil. How? Just because of these practices given here. And then they keep on doing in order to get better clarity, in order to clear the heart of the thicket, the forest of raga dvesha. So Bhashya kayena dehena. And then Adi Shankara does not see it fit to talk about manasa buddhya. He just takes the original buddhya cha. So buddhya he explains. What is the buddhya? Kevalaihi mamatva varjitaihi iti buddhi. So this buddhi has many components. So what is this buddhi here? The buddhi that decides to do karma yoga says that mamatva varjitaihi buddhya. Through the action is done through a buddhi in which there are two words which are always missing. Me and mine. Mamatvam. Mama, mine. Mamatvam, minus. Not M-I-N-U-S. No. So it is M-Y-N-E-S-S. Mamatvam. Mamatvam means mamata. Unfortunately, some people are named Mamata in India. That means what? Minus. Mamata. So here the mamata is not there. This action is mine. Let go of it. It belongs to me. And then what else? I will enjoy the results. It's not there. Even in the ashram, that's why we keep changing the rosters, but still people get very attached to a particular action only. And they will not give it to anybody else. They will say, come and get it from me if you dare. So, especially when it is, like when Pujya Swamiji was in the body, that time anybody doing service to Pujya Swamiji, they would start growling audibly and marking their territory if anybody came even close. Come on, no, let me have a chance. Yeah. So, like this, There is a lot of attachment to the action, and if there is attachment to the action, there is a sangha to the results of action also. So, the buddhi, that is a karma yogi's buddhi, is devoid of two things. One is mamatva varjita buddhi. So, Varjita, devoid of myness, my job, my result, my action, dedicated to my person for whom the seva is intended. All the my has gone. From which buddhi. And then the second part of this buddhi is Ishvaraya eva karma karomi. So there are three components to the buddhi. What kind of buddhi? Mamatva varjitaihi buddhya. And then Ishvaraya karma karomi iti buddhya, number 2. This we have already seen, we don't have to see much, because in the 10th verse, Brahmani adhaya karmani Ishvare nikshipya ityarthaha. So we already saw that. So first thought in this karma yoga, the first kind of thinking is, this is not my action. And then second thought is, I am doing this for the sake of what? Bhagavan, Ishvara. And then the third one is, na mama phalaya. Na mama phalaya. Not for me is the result. This is there even in our homas. Indraya swaha, at the end we say, Indraya idanna mama, Varunaya namaha, Varunaya swaha, Varunaya idanna mama. This is for Varuna, not for me. Even though I want lots of things to be given to me, but still at the end I wash my hands off of that desire. Indraya swaha, Indraya idan namama. And same thing here in the puja also, all the omissions and commissions we ask pardon, and then we say what? Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu, Brahmarpanamastu. We dedicate everything, including our mistakes, to Bhagavan. This is the second component of Karma Yoga, Buddhi. And then so now we have covered action, Ishvaraya Karma, and then we have covered what else? We have covered the way in which the Buddhi is freed of myness. What is left? Result of action. So the result of action, also this Buddhi is not attracted to the results of action. So, na mama phalaya. Na mama phalaya. Na mama phalaya means, not for me is this result. I am not doing this for the result. Iti mamatva buddhi shunyaihi indriyaihi. Very beautiful. So the indriyas are also cleaned off. Indriyas don't have agency, but the indriyas are overseen by the buddhi, which has agency, which transmutes it or transfers it to the indriyas. So the eyes see without longing, the ears hear without pain or sorrow or some kind of, I want this, why am I not hearing this? Not a word of praise from you. The ears are dying to hear some validation. No. So the indriyas are in cahoots with the buddhi. The indriyas are aligned with the buddhi. The mind is aligned with the buddhi. And so therefore, kevalaihi mamatva buddhi shunyaihi indriyaihi api. So and then he gives us a caveat. Kevala shabdaha kayadhibihi pratyekam sambadhyate. So what should we say? Kevala kayena, kevala manasa, kevala buddhya, kevalaihi indriyaihi api. The word kevala should be together with all of them. So the actions done only by the body, only by the mind, or by all of them, pratyekam sambadhyate. Meaning what? Sarva vyapareshu mamata varjanaya. Why should this kevala be attached to all this? Mamata varjanaya, to show all kinds of activities, and in all kinds of activities which is freed of I sense, my sense. Mamata varjanaya kevalaha iti pratyekam sambadhyate. And the purpose of the word kevala only is to show that when you attach the word only sense organs, the word my sense organs, what happens? Drops. My drops. Only by the sense organs, they are not mine anymore. Only by the buddhi, that buddhi is also not mine anymore. Only by the body, only by the karmendriya only, meaning the Atma Bhava is not there in any one of them. The Tadatmya is not there. The identification is not there in any one of them. So with this kind of a action, when the person does, what happens? Atma Shuddhi or Antahkarana Shuddhi takes place. So Yoginaha, who are they? Karminaha, who are keeping the fires, who are doing the homas, who are going to work, who are getting the results of action. So, phala vishayam sangam tyaktva, giving up the attachment to a particular outcome, atma shuddhaye, antahkarana shuddhaye, sattva shuddhaye, ityarthaha. Tasmat tatra eva adhikaraha iti Kuru karma eva. So Arjuna and the rest of the karma yogis, addressed by this verse, are told what? Tatra eva, tasmin karma yoge eva, tava adhikaraha. Your deservedness, your fitness is for karma yoga alone. Don't jump, don't jump the necessary grades. If you jump all the levels and go somewhere to PhD level, nothing you will understand. Even those that are called child prodigies, 9-year-old, there is some club, Mensa club, 9-year-old is telling all the capitals of the world, the whole world, all the capital cities. All the element table is by hearted, and everything the child knows, 8 or 9 years old. Ready to go to college, or even the college it gets bored because it's much ahead. Ready to do research, ready to do all this, but the body is still what? A child. And the child has to grow. And people who have these kinds of child prodigies are told, you have to let the child be the child. Don't make it all, just because it's studying at the grown-up level doesn't mean that mentally, emotionally it's still a child. You have to deal with it as a child, and that growth cannot be bypassed. By some Bhagavan's gift, it is acting like a PhD student, but it is still a child. So here also the person is what? Not fit for what was said, Pashyan Shrinvan Nalipyate. Naiva kinchit karomi iti yuktaha manyeta tattvavit. So here the person is tattvavit or atattvavit? Atattvavit. So the atattvavit cannot be told, hurry up, become tattvavit. Kalena atmani vindati, we have seen that. Antahkarana shuddhi should take place. So therefore, this you have only adhikara, O Arjuna, and everybody like Arjuna has only adhikara for what? Tatra eva tasmin karma yoge eva tava te adhikaraha iti kuru karmatvam. Kuru karmatvam. Why should I do this? Why should I continue in karma yoga when that person has entered jnana yoga? Why am I only doing this? Because yuktah karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayuktah kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktah. Yuktah with what? Karma yogena yuktah. Endowed with karma yoga. And also yuktah can be a standalone adjective for the person who is together. Both ways we have to say. Endowed with the fruits of karma yoga is the yuktah, means a matured person. So this maturity has come with a lifetime of karma yoga practicing, and this karma yoga has yielded the dividends in terms of atma shuddhi, antakarana shuddhi, yuktah. So what does the yuktah do? Karma phalam tyaktva, discarding the attention given to the results of action, then the person gains what? A shanti. Shantim apnoti. What kind of shanti? Naishthiki shanti. Naishthiki means what? Nisthayam bhavam shantihi. Tatra bhavam tadhita. So born of nishtha. What is nishtha? Nitaram sthitihi. Born of continual abidance in karma yoga, the person gets tranquility and cheerfulness of mind, the person enjoys. This is why to continue in karma yoga, as long as this tranquility is gained, it is not gained, it is better to continue and rather than run and hurry up to graduate and say, I am not brushing my teeth, I am not blinking my eyes. That will come naturally. Don't get into this verses 8 and 9. Don't be in a hurry to go there. Because this is the ladder to go there, because the jnani lakshana, wherever it comes, becomes mumukshoho sadhanam. Sadhanani. So the lakshana of the jnani, the characteristics of the depicted with regard to the wise person becomes the way to the ticket to growth for the otherwise or the unwise or the one who wants to become wise. So don't say, I am going to give up karma phala, I am going to give up attachment, I am going to give up myness, and I am going to give up karma yoga also. No, stay in karma yoga, because you will find that the more you do karma yoga, what will happen? You will become more and more cheerful. Shanti means cheer is there. That tranquility, the cheerfulness, the natural cheerfulness which is very close to Swabhava Ananda. So, Swabhavika Ananda, that cheerfulness, regardless of whatever the situation, the person is cheerful because the person is tranquil. So that tranquility of mind, the shanti, the absence of disturbance. Shanti is always defined both positively and negatively. Positively means peacefulness, tranquility. Negatively means absence of disturbance is the cause of tranquility. So absence of disturbance is shanti. So that is ashanti. What is samsara? The hallmark of samsara is what? Ashanti. Wherever you go, ashanti, 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 ashanti. And so here the karma yoga gives you the biggest gift of all. Forget to self-growth and all that is there, part and parcel. But then gives naishthiki shanti. Naishthiki shanti means nishthayaha, that which is born of nishtha. So that which is born of nishtha, nisthayam bhava shantihi. So that which is born of the relentless pursuit of karma yoga, that is the nishtha here. Then this relentless pursuit of karma yoga for the sake of self cleansing, purification, etc., that is the gift for you. Whereas For the person who says, no, 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 enough of this, I've reached the next level. What is the next level? I'm not the doer, I'm not doing anything, I'm not karma yogi, I'm not bhogi, I'm not karta, I'm not this, I'm not that, and I'm just, I'm a jnani, the one who rushes to leave karma yoga and either take some kind of a sannyasa or whatever, the one who acts in haste. Then what happens? Repents at leisure. That's what it says. Act in haste, and then you have all the free time afterwards to repent. Ayuktaha phale saktaha nibadhyate. So, ayuktaha, what happens? For the ayuktaha phale saktaha. Then whatever, the one is wanting the phala. What is the phala here for the ayukta? Mokshakyam phalam. That is the phala here. The ayukta is deluded. I want quick fix, moksha. Which is quicker? This is Arjuna's question in the beginning of this chapter. Tell me, sannyasa is the quicker way or this is quicker? We all want shortcuts. Starting from Arjuna, which is the shortcut? I don't want to go round and round. Give me the direct way, give me the shortcut. It's not so easy. It depends on the person's maturity. This they don't know. So then, for this fruit, some kind of a fruit like moksha, I want moksha. Moksha becomes a concept. They don't understand it's already there. And they go after this fruit, and in the process what happens? Become deluded. Why what? The desire for the fruit. Phala asakti. So because of that, then kamakarena, because of the desire, because of the desire impelled prayuktena, kamena prayuktaha, this person who ayuktaha, kamena prayuktaha, phale saktaha, what happens? Nibadhyate, becomes bound to what? The cycle of karma phala, did not like karma phala, more karma, and then more karma phala, did not like that karma phala. So action 2.0, result 2.0, action 3.0, result 3.0, keeps on updating the actions in the hope of updating the results. Is moksha an update to samsara? Never. Never. Moksha is your nature, and it will be understood when the conditions are correct. What is the condition that should be correct? The freedom from ragadveshas. So stay in karma yoga. Do not be in a hurry to have vairagya from karma and karma yoga. That is the idea. Again, we see in verse number 11, or was it 12? Yeah, in verse number 12, we see the stuti ninda methodology. What comes first? Stuti comes first, and then ninda. First is the glorification, then the censure of the opposite. Because even as it's being glorified, somebody is thinking somewhere, what if I don't do this? What will happen? All right, here you go. This is what will happen. No, I don't want. Okay, then come back to the first line. All right, more we'll see. When? Weekend. Yes. So tonight course is there. What is that? The 2 lifestyles. Attendance will be taken twice. Okay? Yeah. One for each lifestyle. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.